Hello ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another guide from myself, Oswald Lyric Vividar. This is Gold Rush the game. So this is a game I've been playing for a fair few years and I've just restarted playing, and I thought I'd cover it in a guide considering I started years ago and I thought I'd actually get round to writing it. So if you're new to Gold Rush the game and you just want to learn how to play and various other bits and pieces, follow along with the few steps. I'm just going to take you over 3 things. Right, so the first things we're going to go over is the game settings. So if you go into settings and then go down to game, we're going to go through all of this lot here, and as you can see, some of it's disabled and some of it isn't, depending on the settings of your game, depends on what you can use. So the language is pretty much self-explanatory. It's the language that you use. I don't really know what head bobbling is all about. Auto saves, I would suggest that you put those to 1 hour. If you're playing on easy, you can enable the cost everyone to $1 feature just to get yourself set up, and then once you have done, I'd suggest that you turn it off, otherwise the game gets just a little bit too easy. This one here, show the FFPs. Enable that if you want to see the frames per second on the screen. The unit type is either metric or imperial. I've put it to metric because obviously I want to see it in grams and not in ounces. Temperature again is in Celsius rather than Fahrenheit. I'm English, so it's quite self-explanatory. Clock type 24 hours. I'm a military man, so I prefer a 24-hour clock than a 12-hour PM AM scale. Time scale, on the other hand, now this is a key feature in the game that I like to be able to change throughout my game. Now I'm going to just take you over the scenarios of the difference between this time scale. So you've got ×1, ×3, and ×6, and ×12. Depending on obviously how you times your time scale, depends on how quickly the day goes or how slow the day goes. If you're playing on harder settings, I would preferably say that you probably, if you're playing in hard mode, I'd say ×1, ×3. If you're playing in medium, say ×3, ×6, and if you're playing on easy, you may as well play ×12. You make so much gold in a day that you'll just, it's just too easy to earn gold basically. Obviously you've got to take into consideration one season is only 100 days and you've got 4 maps to clear, so 4 claims to clear, so that's 25 days per claim, which you can do on ×3, ×1. Not entirely sure whether you could do it on ×6, but it would be certainly a drain. You basically would have to work all throughout the night and basically not get any sleep. Not that it really matters that you get sleep in this game anyway. I don't think it actually works with fatigue and all that sort of stuff, so I wouldn't really even notice. The gold nugget herb, that's a feature that's only enabled during easy and medium mode. It's not available on hard mode like I'm playing. The prompts, that's enabled. That well, it's vehicle prompts and stuff. Digger help, again, that's on easy and medium. Can't really be turned on in hard mode. Mouse trigger diggering mode enabled. That's just a feature that's available throughout the whole entire game. Machine failures, now this is a feature that is enabled, and the pressure system as well as the easy one, wash plant placing, those features are disabled completely for me. I can't actually change them. As you can see, these features are entirely not able to be changed because of the settings that I'm actually playing in. Now the machine failures, the digger help obviously is disabled on hard mode as well, so I get literally no help whatsoever, so I have to be very careful when offloading stuff from my excavators and other machines into, say, like dump trucks and etc etc. But if you've got a decent viewpoint in the game, then yeah, you can quite clearly see what you're doing. And the machine failure system, now this is something that I actually like playing on because you get the option to change parts out, repair your vehicles, repair your machines, and you can also upgrade items from basic items to, say, enhanced items, which can be quite fun. Also hiring workers and stuff that will help you out to basically, repair stuff and blah blah blah. The pressure system, on the other hand, this is a completely entirely different system that I'll have to take you over actually inside the game to explain it properly. But the pressure system, each pump has a certain amount of room that it can pump. So like a diesel pump, for instance, is say 80 litres per minute, and it can only pump it over, I think it's 100 metres. Yeah, it is 100 metres, and that's for both the diesel and the electric pump. The only difference being between the two pumps is that one's powered by diesel and the other one's powered by electric, so you'd need a small generator or a large generator to be able to power it up with. Which would still use diesel, so but the generators are slightly less on how much diesel they actually consume. With the pressure system also is that you've got to take into consideration, say for argument's sake you were to put, say, a small water pump. If you put 50 metres between the pump and the water, and then 50 metres between the pump and the item that you're trying to use, that's sufficient enough. Or you could then attach it to, say, the mobile water tank, which you can then pump water into the mobile water tank and then out of the mobile water tank into items that you're actually using. That way you create some form of distance between yourself and the pump. The first pump would pump water at 100 metres into the mobile water tank, and then 200 metres from the mobile water tank to wherever that you're actually situated, which means you've got a 300 metre range on it. And if you were to use a larger pump, say like one of the big pumps, you'd get more space, because you could technically use the bigger pumps to pump more water into the small pump, and you could also then use the bigger pump to pump water to the mobile water tank, or you could use the water tower itself, which would give you a fair bit of distance. And that's what I do with my one. So I have a small pump connected to the mobile water tank, which is then connected to usually a wavetable, the gold nugget, and the mag generator, magnet separator. And then a large pump that's connected to the water tower, which then connects to my main wash plant, which makes things slightly easier. You can just turn them off and on as and when you need them. And you've got two different water tanks as well. You've got 1,000,000 water in your main water tower, and you've also got 100,000 water in your mobile water tank, so that if forever you ice up, or cable breaks or whatever, you've still got enough water to be pumping while you're actually using the items. Just have to take into consideration how much water an item uses. So obviously if something uses 20 and another item uses 15, that's 35 litres per minute. You work out the mathematics on a minute times by 60, you know exactly how much water you're using per hour in the game. So you'll need to know and calculate how much water you think you'll need to get through, say, a working day. So if you wanted to work for, say, 12 hours, and you're going to be using, say, 60 litres per minute, you want to times 60 by 60 times 12, and that's how much water you would need to buy and fill into your tank, and then connect it to a pump. Right, getting back to the point, so the Easy Wash plant placing, that just makes your life a little bit easier when placing items. It basically means it doesn't matter what way around it is, you can just place it, but that feature is only available on easy mode anyway. And then the intense lighting effects, you want that on, otherwise you won't see any lights from your lights in the game. And then running in the background, I will say do not turn this mode on, it gets slightly confusing. I play with my Xbox 360 controller. I enabled that feature the other day while I was playing, and it got a little bit unbearable to play. It's just slightly easier if you just use the trigger when you need to run. Another feature I would suggest that you go over is I believe the field of view. Yeah, it is the field of view in graphics. So if like me you like a big field of view, 90 was a bit too much for my liking, so I went with 80 and it worked perfect. So I'm just going to take you over that a second. Before we do, however, we're going to fire up for a new game, and I'm just going to show you the difference. So on easy mode you get the £1 mode, the gold nugget is on, the prompts on, digger help on, machine failure off, the pressure system off, the Easy Wash plant is on, and random events is off. On normal the £1 mode is off, The gold nugget is still on, prompts is on, digger help is off, but you can turn it on. Machine failure is on, you can turn it off. The pressure system is on, but you can turn it off. The easy wash plant placing is off and blocked, and random events is off. I'm not entirely sure whether you can actually turn off the random events or not. That was a feature that you used to be able to turn off, but I don't think is enabled for you to turn off anymore. And in hard mode, pretty much everything is either off or on. So off for the £1 mode gold nugget, prompt is on, digger help is off, machine failure is on and cannot be turned off, the pressure system is on, can't be turned off, the wash plant is turned off and cannot be turned off. And the random events is on and cannot be turned off either. So if you see the blocked, it basically means you cannot turn it on or off. So like on here you'll see off, blocked, you cannot turn it on, yeah, you know, and the same with up here. So if you have a look for these two modes here, you'll see if it says off and blocked, that means you cannot turn it on. So like the easy wash plant placing is off, cannot be turned on, whereas this is off, 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 on, off, on, and that means you can literally not turn them off or can't turn them on. But if you go into the game, I'm sure there used to be a way of turning off the random events, but I'm not entirely sure why that feature is not actually available in my game, because it should actually be in here. Never mind, I can't seem to find it in my game. That's going over the actual game results. I hope that really helps. Hook me up on Steam and YouTube if you have any problems. I'll be very grateful for it. And the guides are currently being written on Steam by myself and will be available within the next couple of days. I plan and intend on finishing the guide before releasing it. Thanks very much for your time. You have a wonderful day. Ciao, guys.